Um, so you was asking me about that video about the lady in the elevator and the people going around who are
Yeah.
spitting on things. I'm so sorry. My allergies.
Let
Um, Thank you so much. So, yeah, to me, you have to understand the pressure that they're in, and oh my goodness, hold on.
let
Yeah, I'm having a, I've been I've been going through this lately. Mm. Okay, you gotta understand the pressure. The Chinese. Oh, I gotta be careful about that because I'm gonna get to that too. Well, let's say it like this: the media, and I'll say allegedly, the media, the global media, has been minimizing uh, the coronavirus and its effect on the society as it relates to certain countries. And of course, there's an obvious country uh, of where this started. So you got to understand the pressure. You have millions and millions and millions of people that are quarantined. You have people that are being barricaded in their house. You have areas where people they're under martial law, which is basically the police are running they're in control. So whatever rights they thought they had before, they don't have them anymore. And you have videos out there where when people don't obey the police's orders, they're just shot down. You those videos are out there. I mean, they're just straight out shot down.
mm,
And I saw a woman who was infected, and the police were trying to get her in a car to take her to the quarantine station. And they, in the process, she was resisting. She got her neck broken and died right there on the spot. So you
mm,
have to understand the human factor when crisis comes. There's gonna be people that are gonna be like, well, I'm gonna die, so I might as well just take out whoever with me. And we've seen that in America with the different cases of people, females, males and females, where they're HIV positive, and they're like, well, hey, I'm gonna try to get everybody infected. And
mm-hmm.
so that's that kind of hopeless and desperate uh, state of mind that a person might get in a moment of social crisis, because it's not just a personal crisis, it's all around them. So to me, that's what that is. And the question of it being biological, whether it's a biological weapon or not, um, well, I think it is because it's early on, and you can people can do their own research. If you want to just do the research of where this came up, we know it came out of that Wuhan. It came out of uh, uh, that was it a level four um, laboratory, which level four laboratory is supposed to be the highest security. It's supposed to be able to withstand natural disaster, bombs, attacks, whatever. So throughout history, no, I won't go there. Not throughout history. What we know initially when it first came out, you through if you were researching it at the time, you knew that this was a man-made virus. And now we have a name to it. It's called COVID-19.
Mm,
And even proving the point, and I think I mentioned this in the previous video we had on coronavirus, proving the point that it's a man-made virus, is that different pharmaceutical companies and labs, they've already recreated the virus, and some others have created the vaccine. So you had a company out of Australia connected to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. You have a company out of Texas. They just announced that they too have created a vaccine. In order to create a vaccine, you have to isolate the virus. So they had to basically either get a sample of the virus or recreate the virus, which All you have to do is do the research. All that information is out there. There's at least 3 or 4 entities that have either recreated the virus or created a vaccine. Uh, and I want to mention that one pharmaceutical company that we mentioned in a video related to the Nipsey Hussle case, which is Gilead, but some people call it Gilead. There, you
Hmm.
can research that. They're in on this also. I mean, when I say in on this, no meaning I'm not saying it in a negative way, but they're in on the. I think on they're trying to they're in the process of creating a vaccination. If not they've already created it, and that's right there in California, which doesn't surprise me because you already have you already have uh infected people in California.
Well,
So that's what I was going to say about that. If you want me to keep rolling and
keep
go,
rolling.
okay. So let me turn. Let's this. I just want to get that out because she asked me about that, and then let me just roll back up to. First of all, I want to give you a guys because the first time we talked about it, it was just in China. So now what I'm going to do is read the names of the countries that have, and you can go. I'm not a person who uses mainstream media too much, but in cases like this, sometimes you're gonna find some good information there, um, and it information that'll lead you to further research. So now we're gonna get to the names of the countries, and you can go online, do your Google search or whatever search engine you want to use to find out the coronavirus map. Now, I want to make a small disclaimer. By me talking about the seriousness of this virus, this isn't fear porn. I'm just saying this is very serious. I don't want people to hear this and be like nervous and scared and stuff like that because that's not gonna produce the best actions. That's gonna make you have high anxiety. You're gonna make rash decisions, and in a situation like this,
Hmm.
you need to have calculated decisions and calculated actions. You need to think in the most uh, uh, you need to be in your best self in this moment. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there. This is not fear porn, but it is serious. So okay, so I'm gonna run down the countries. So we have China, Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan, Afghanistan, Australia, Bahrain, Belgium, Cambodia, Canada, Egypt, Finland, France, Germany, India, Iran, Iraq, Israel, Italy, Japan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Malaysia, Nepal, Oman,
Hmm.
Philippines, Russia, Sri Lanka, Singapore, Spain, Sweden, Thailand, the Republic of Korea, which is, if I'm not mistaken, that's South Korea,
Yeah.
the United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, United States, and Vietnam. Okay,
Hmm.
so this is it's spreading.
I just want to
Now,
say something real quick.
go
So
ahead.
this is a month in because we didn't get the news until Kobe's
Right,
death on
right,
January 26th. I remember that very distinctly. It didn't
right,
start hitting mainstream news in the US
right,
until January 26th.
right, right. Oh, and a little. Oh, I think I'll get to that. I think I have this written down. Okay. Yeah. So you're exactly. And remember in the first video, I said it's 83% infection. The infection rate is 83%, and the death
Hmm.
rate is 15%. So I have a bunch of points here. So my first point is Italy has seen a 45% increase in one single day. 24 hours, they got a 45% increase. And that has led to 11 deaths. And it might have increased. This is the time that I checked. and 322 cases. South Korea has 1,000 cases and 10 deaths. The CDC, you can go check this, you Google it right now. They said it, and it's already hitting mainstream media. The CDC is saying it's not a matter if we're gonna have a coronavirus outbreak in the United States. It's not a matter of if, it's about when.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my third point. There is a political struggle. There's a political struggle between the Democrats and Trump's plan for the virus. Um, the Democrats, I'm not going to go into this deeply because I want to run through all these points. Y'all can leave questions in the comments if you want me to go in depth about any of these specific points. You can contact LA and ask for another show on this, and I can go in depth in some of these points. So there is a political struggle right now. Um, uh, if you want to go to mainstream media, most of the main that's my fifth point. Mainstream media has a lot of live updates because they understand the seriousness of it. Reason why I had to check myself is because Facebook, Twitter, and Google have vowed to censor misinformation about the virus. Now you have to
Correct.
understand. You can go and find that article on zerohedge.com. Zerohedge.com. Facebook, Twitter, and Google have vowed to censor misinformation about the virus.
So
Go ahead.
I under Instagram and I typed in hashtag coronavirus. Don't you
Right.
know they sent me straight to the cdc.gov, and
Hey,
then we look into, you can try it now. Type in hashtag coronavirus on Instagram, and it sent me to the cdc.gov, and if you go in and look at the different posts, they're all in a different language.
listen, I'm gonna tell you why because as it I don't want to say as it I will say if they're saying it's not if but when, but if it gets worse in America, people are gonna just look at how we act with Black Friday. Let's look at how we act with when the new Jordans come out. Just look at how we act with just normal things that happen. Okay,
Exactly.
if the media doesn't control and minimize information, people are gonna go nuts.
Yes.
That people are gonna lose their mind. Believe that. And I'm not saying that I justify them doing that, but I just want to clarify what is meant by misinformation. Misinformation is it's gonna mean any information that goes against the mainstream story. Anything that's against the mainstream story is gonna be considered uh misinformation. And the more I hate to use this terminology, but you guys are gonna understand me when I say it. But the more conspiracy theory sounding information, they're gonna be after that.
Mhm.
So my seventh point is there's a New York Times article in the opinion section that is talking more about the how this virus might be the straw that breaks the camel's back as it relates to the globalists. And you can translate that as it relates to us in America. The globalists are the Democrats and the Democratic Socialists in general. Not all Democrats are globalists, but in the power brokers amongst the Democrats are Democratic Socialists, and they're the globalists, and they're thinking that this virus is going to crush them. So
Mm.
that's not me. That's just in the opinion section of New York Times. There's an article there. Okay. Point number 8 is cdc.gov. Um, this is the virus map. You can go to cdc.gov and look at the virus map. Point number 9 is from Zero Hedge. It is. You can look this up. I'm not gonna open these articles and read them. I'm just gonna run through this because it's just too much. But I want you guys to do your own information and educate yourself because this is something that you do need. You don't need to hear from LA or Cisco. We just tapping you on the shoulder and hopefully you'll go and do your own research. Um, the EU officials are refusing to implement a border control to stop the coronavirus, which means that you understand what the European Union is. The EU is the union. That's a bunch of different countries, and they're not going to stop or make border control, which means that people potentially could move back and forth between those borders and spread the virus. So that's why that's of concern. Um, Point number 10 is just in a short amount of time, South Korea is hit with huge, imminent economic hit because of the coronavirus. Point number 11 is from the dailywire.com. Um, Man, and this is deep right here. The military issues the coronavirus containment plan orders, and that's you can go to the Daily Wire, look at that. It'll send you a link to the Marines and if I'm not mistaken, the Army. So, man, it's they already have their containment plans orders in place. Okay,
Mm.
the military, yes, which means what? You can forget the Constitution. That's martial law. When the
Yeah,
military run everything, that's martial law.
we're gonna be right up in Walmart, packed together like sardines.
And not only that, let's say there are areas that are not infected, but they're under martial law. It's
Hmm.
you ain't gonna be able to. I know my rights. None of that. None of that. And if they order you to take a vaccination, you're gonna have to take it. You cannot, under martial law, you cannot disobey, and disobeying could mean your life in under martial law. Just to keep it all the way 100. If our martial law is in America, and let's say you're in an area that's not infected, but it's under the rule of martial law, you have to obey whatever they say. You know. Okay, so point number 12, something I already mentioned. There's a Houston company, and we've created coronavirus vaccine. Well, so I already said that, so we don't need to go no more on that. 13 is, yes, the CDC. This is also from the Daily Wire. CDC says the coronavirus outbreak in America is inevitable, and Americans should be prepared for disruptions. 14 is, yeah, that is a video you can go see. It's quite, um, you know, um, shocking. So you had an Iranian health official who
Yeah,
was giving a speech and he just broke out sweating. Come to find out, he got the virus. You know, and so that's another thing you can look up. And oh, I thought I had 17, so that was 14. That's it. So I'll be continuously taking a peek at this.
me too.
Um, I would advise you to go. You're not probably not gonna find it on YouTube. You're gonna have to find it on some off-brand websites. But there's videos out there to show you what martial law is like in China. You can see people being barricaded by the police in their homes because they suspect that they have the virus. So I'm not saying that's not going to happen in America, but we do things differently. We think differently. We're used to what we're used to. We're used to our fast food. We're used to our movies. We're used to our clubs. We're used to our gyms. We're used to a lot of things.
Hmm.
American life is full of you can say luxuries. You know, we have it good, even though there's injustice, there's all kind of corruption in our country and everything. But if you compare our lifestyle with the rest of the world, it's, I mean, you can, let's say somebody's broke, they can go to McDonald's and get, or Burger King or wherever, and get a dollar burger. You know, probably in some other countries, you probably not might not be able to have that luxury. You know what I mean? So this if there is an inevitable coronavirus outbreaks, you have to understand what that actually means. You're talking about transportation, public transportation, whether it's a plane, whether it's Uber, whether it's the bus, whether it's the train, any form of public transportation, it's going to change. It's going to change. You got to think of the transportation of goods and services. There's something that we don't think about when we go to the grocery store. You don't understand that there's an 18 wheeler bringing all that stuff. You don't understand that when you go to Walmart and all these other places, there's an 18 wheeler delivering all that stuff. You don't understand that the fast food or your favorite restaurant that you like to go to, that stuff is all delivered. It's all transportation. Then think about all import and exports, all the products that aren't going to come into the United States because of the virus, or it's too expensive or whatever. So, like I said, this isn't fear porn. It's just for you to be aware, because it's better to, if this does happen, it's better for us to be aware that it's going to happen so you can have some preparation. And I'm going to close it with this. I'm not saying that you need to do this now, but I would say for those who have the ability, make sure you stock up on unperishables. And what I mean by that is your bags of rice, your canned goods. If you know how to can your own goods or jar your own food, do it. Um, just because it might get wild and crazy, and it might not, you might be in a place where people, get in pandemonia, and it might not even be the virus. It's just because people went crazy, and it's better for you to stay in your house.
Mm-hmm.
So stock up on your unperishables so your family can eat. Make sure you stock up on your water. I'm not saying that you need to do this immediately right now, but I think, I'm not trying to turn nobody into no prepper or nothing like that. But hey, it's here. It's in America already. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very, very contagious. This is some wild shit right here, for real. Excuse my language, but that's what it is. It's some real, wild shit. And it's just gonna be you guys. Oh, the last thing I want to say is um tap into your spiritual self. You know, you know, uh you never know, it might get real dark. And if the only people that have tapped into that side of themselves are the ones that are going to be sane, and the ones who are going to deal with it without going crazy, because
Yeah.
I guarantee you the vast majority of people are going to go nuts.
I mean, these people in China are now stuck in their houses. Like, they cannot come outside. I think it's like one person per family member that can go out and get supplies or something. I don't even know
Yeah.
if that's true. I don't, but I'm just hearing different things, and it's the right time. Now is the time to start getting cases of bottles of water, just to have them. I mean, come on
Yep.
now. Come on now. What is the issue with just having these things, just like these other races have these things in abundance? Trust and believe me. There are people right now that are looking at this stuff, Caucasian people, and they're like, oh, yeah, they're getting all the things they need, everything they need.
Why you think they had them reality shows, the preppers?
Yeah. Yep. I remember that. I used to watch that show.
How, how many movies did we have programmed in the last 15 years where there's some kind of virus that turns people into zombies, or something like that? you know, in my age group, you could say even that you had the 12 Monkeys, you had all kind of different movies where there's some kind of weird virus. So yeah. Oh, another thing I wanted to say, I read there about the reinfection. There's a woman in China where she got the virus, went to the hospital, she got cured, and then left the hospital, and 10 days later got it again.
Mm, I heard about that. Yeah, like I
Got
said,
it
it's a
again.
lot of different stories out here that's going on. And like you said, they are physically hurting people
Oh yeah.
in the
Oh yeah.
streets. They're not playing with this stuff. So imagine that being over here. You think a black man getting gunned down is something? Well,
Yeah.
hmm, they got something for us. Trust and believe me. So we can close this out and, we're not trying to spread panic, spread any falsehoods or anything. All this stuff that we have touched on, it's all in the media, you know. So look it up, prepare yourself, prepare your family, and know that this stuff is real. It's not a game. And
Yeah, it's not a game.
it's not a game. We'll be back with some more. Thank you so much for tuning in.